Brian Hartline to USF. Bravo, USF. Bravo, USF. Alex Golish went to USF, and I believe he took the program to the next level or to a higher level. And when you look at the notoriety they got after beating Florida, getting ranked, they beat Boise State. They got a new stadium being built. I thought he was doing good things at the program, but then he decided to go to Auburn. And we saw several coaches go off the board, but I didn't hear a lot of people talking about who was USF going to hire. Who would they get? I didn't see any rumors. I didn't see any reports. And then all of a sudden you wake up on National Signing Day and you get the news alert that it's Brian Hartline going to USF. And I got to say, this is a good hire. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Brian Hartline is going to make an amazing head coach because we have not seen that. I'm not going to say he's going to lead USF to doing this and doing that because we don't know what he's going to do as a head coach. But when you look at who Brian Hartline is, former Miami Dolphin player going back to South Florida, you know he got connections. He's got a great connection to the 707 lifestyle and programs and events that go on in South Florida. And we know what he does in the recruiting world. We know the elite wide receivers that he's been able to get to go to Ohio State. And I believe with him going to USF, with the parity that we're seeing in college football, with USF investing in their football program like they plan to do, I can see Brian Hartline getting some talent that USF normally wouldn't get. I believe USF will get a lot of talented players. A lot. The question is, will Brian Hartline be able to, as the head guy, who is he going to get as his offensive coordinator? Who's he going to get as his defensive coordinator? Will he be the offensive coordinator? These are things that I don't know yet. But right off the bat, I say I do like this hire. I wonder during the transfer portal time, you're Brian Hartline, how many of those guys from Ohio State will come to USF? Because we see the Julian Sayans. We see the Jeremiah Smith. But what about the 5 and 4 stars behind those guys? You think those guys don't want to go and play for Brian Hartline? You think they don't want to play? Hey, you come to USF, it's beautiful over here. You can play. I really like this hire because I believe he's going to be able to get talent that USF wasn't able to get. And at one point, he was the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. Then Ryan Day took over. And then when Chip Kelly left, Brian Hartline has been the offensive coordinator. And he's done well. So this is a guy who's been learning. He just hasn't been over at Ohio State being the elite wide receiver coach and the elite wide receiver recruiting. He's been learning. He's been improving. So if you're USF, and I'm a USF fan, I'm very excited for this hire. Especially seeing how a lot of other candidates went off the board and you were able to bring him to South Florida. I would say today, round of applause. Ohio State. This isn't, I'm not going to get dramatic with this. I'm not going to say, oh, this means this player is going to transfer or that player is going to transfer. We don't know just yet. What I will say is Ohio State knew one day Brian Hartline was going to leave. But if I could ask Ryan Day, do you want it to be today on nationals? I bet Ryan Day would say, brother, just wait a week. Just wait a week, please. Because with this news coming out, you have to think that I'm just going to speak. If I was USC, if I was Oregon and I woke up this morning and saw Brian Hartline has went to USF, Chris Henry Jr., Chris, he's leaving, man. We need you over here. And if you're Chris Henry Jr. in his camp, you have to do what's right for you, and you're obligated to say, hey, the coach who's been recruiting me, who's been my primary recruiter, he's leaving. Maybe I need to listen to Oregon. I need to listen to USC. And the report has come out from 247 that they have not received the official paperwork. And then the question will be the players from South Florida. Ohio State has gotten talent before Brian Hartline was born, after Brian Hartline was born, before he was on staff, and they're going to get talent after he's on staff. But you got to wonder is, will they have that reloading at that position like they've had? Because Hartline went on a run. I'm not even going to lie. I think this is a situation where, as for the offensive coordinator, you got a great mind on staff and offensive mind in Ryan Day, and Chip Kelly got fired. So if they wanted to, they could always hit up Chip and say, you want your old job? Or maybe Ryan Day is like, hey, I miss being an offensive coordinator. I do think the reports say that Hartline will stay with Ohio State throughout their playoff run, but this is probably the story of the day. And if I'm USF, I'm a USF fan. I'm excited. I'm happy. If I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm not worried, but I'm interested to see what happens with Chris Henry Jr. and how they replace the offensive coordinator and the wide receiver coach for Ohio State. But what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments.